Welcome back to Dice at the Table and another episode of Tactical Onion. Real briefly before we get into the subject matter, I wanted to thank everybody for the views and whatnot on my silly, simple little channel. That essentially I just started making these videos so I could explain Rolemaster Unified to my potential player base and entice them to join me on this journey. And all of you guys have been liking, watching them, etc. So I'm making more. And I just wanted to say thank you. That being said, let's get into today's fun. So, we are going to play around with a couple of things while highlighting a module. And first I want to focus in on the modules we'll be talking about. And the first one is the Movement Rangefinder. And this is by Ken Dearman. And the purpose of this is a tactical aid for Rolemaster Unified system. It calculates and visualizes how far a token can move based on their base movement rate and the cost of the grid, taking into account walls and movement paces, walk, run, sprint, etc. And the other one I want to talk about is the RMU Combat Zone, also by Ken. I think I already talked about these a little bit, but I want to use these two in conjoined with the actual thing I'm going to be demonstrating. Also, RMU Complementary Skill Calculator by Ken Dearman we're going to be playing with as well. Ken's been putting out a lot of stuff. I just want to give him a shout out. Anyway, so that's what we got going on. I actually think I didn't save the one that I wanted. Yeah, this is the one that I need to do it. Yeah, and I disabled it initially because I was playing around with it with a hex-based grid. And Ken reached out to me and said that as of right now, and this was like 2 days ago, there were some issues with doing hex-based grids. So he just said, square works, and what I might end up doing is just doing away with all that and all the hex and grid work anyway. Oh, gotta reload the browser again. Anyway, yeah, just I'm playing around with movement and familiarity with all this stuff. So let's talk about what the mission is today. Okay, so this is a desert slum map from Forgotten Adventures, battle maps and whatnot. And what we're going to be playing around with is we have a Saracen soldier with a torch over here, and we have a rogue right here. And see, there's your movement rate thing. We can turn it off real quick just so it doesn't pop off. That's it. You hit M to turn it on or off. So it's really cool. You can see what it is real briefly. All right. So the idea is the rogue is going to sneak up on our guy, which of course I can't see when I select the rogue because I have to use the rogue's vision. So GM vision, I know he's here. So here's our rogue. And the one thing I also wanted to show is I've been playing around with Visage. And I'm just dipping my toe in the water here. But one of the things I did is I've got torch, no torch and torch, and then stalking. So torch, he has a light source, right? No torch. It didn't go off. Right. Let's switch to the one I wanted to actually show you though. Stalking. And okay, I gotta figure something out real quick. It did this the last time too. Light. Yeah, see, it automatically puts light on it, and then it doesn't want to turn it off. So I gotta figure that out real quick. Okay, so now he's in the dark, and this is what I wanted to show you. Is, hey, son of a bitch, you gave me a light again. Well, we'll zoom in real quick. You'll notice he's kind of translucent. You see through. That's my little visual for the stalking factor. Fine. I'll figure this out here in a little bit. But there, because for me personally, I've always had a problem with a rogue class sneaking up on people, trying to say like I'm stealthy while holding a light source. So is that torch just floating through the air on its own? I don't know. Anyway, that's just for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this rogue sneak up on our guy that's over here. So we're going to try out the opposed roles of stalking versus perception. And then hopefully the rogue can sneak up on him. And then attack him with ambush. We're going to try out the ambush rules. Make sure we understand those. And then we're going to initiate combat. Well, which is typically what happens, when you stab a guy. Another thing I want to do real quick is I'm making a text primer for the combat round sequence. And this is just to remind me and players who join, kind of just like a real idiot's guide. Of course, this didn't copy properly. Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4, upkeep phase, and return to steps. There we go. So this is just to kind of help explain stuff. So it's declare combat, roll initiative, determine order of actions. Phase 1, confirm actions everyone takes in initiative order, resolve any movement attacks. Movement, combat attacks, typically hastily fired / ranged attacks, or other actions that can be paid for via action points in this phase. Some spells can be resolved now. Phase 2, resolve movement / attacks, typically the earliest chance for a melee attack to be resolved with penalties. Some spells can be resolved now. Phase 3, resolve movement attack, second range attack with penalty, usually occurs here. Melee attacks at -25 can occur here as well as spell attacks. Some instantaneous spells can be resolved here without penalty. Phase 4, resolve movement attacks, full round melee attacks occur this phase. That would be with no penalty. Some spells can resolve now, possibly additional ranged attacks. Additional action points due to haste / speed effects are spent at this time as well. Upkeep phase, that's where you keep track of all your wounds, bleeding, negatives, positives, stuns, all that stuff. You track down, like if somebody's stunned for 3 rounds, now they're stunned for 2 rounds, etc., etc. And then return to step 2, repeat steps 2 through 9 until combat is resolved. And this is going to get edited, of course, but this is just kind of a rough little guide for later. Alrighty, now back on task here. Alright, so what I'm going to do, because it's me, I'm the GM, I'm showing you guys this is dark of night, but in order for to make it a little easier visually, we're going to turn it back to day. Just so it's easier for everybody to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I don't need to do that. Oh, I forgot. There we go. These are my 2 assets, these 2 tokens. They're going to be competing with each other. So we're going to go over here. And I'm not going to get distracted by some of the other stuff. Complementary skills. Okay, so boost skill check. This is for when you have everybody helping out, like pushing open a door or something like that. So what I'm going to do is do an opposed check. So the first things first, I'm going to have the rogue make his check. I'm going to use Argon, which, again, Ken's been putting in a lot of work. This is the Argon HUD, action HUD, and he made a RMU version. So here's the rogue, and this basically just draws everything from the character sheet. Now, stalking is a subterfuge class thing, and I am going to stalk. Now, concealment, you might be like, oh, concealment means I'm going to hide. No, you read the descriptions. It's to hide items or groups of items of any size. So, like, this is like palming, pickpocketing. Well, maybe not pickpocketing, but like snagging something off of a merchant's table. You know, this is your if you can snagged by the guards, and you want to use a concealment to like palm a lockpick, it'd probably be this, you know. Now, stalking is the ability to move silently and unseen using camouflage and shadows to conceal your presence. Difficulty of the maneuver of this skill is determined mainly by the surroundings. Be easier in dark, shadowy area with a lot of cover. More difficult in brightly lit areas without cover. So we're going to do this because he's initiating. I don't have the other assets perception figured out yet. So maybe I should go look at that. Be like, where's my asset? There he is. Now, under skills for this gentleman, awareness is what perception is. Alright, so he is fairly unaware. Yeah, A, he doesn't have any points in it. B, I mean, you could say he's wearing a helmet and he's distracted, but yeah, I didn't put any points in it because this is a rough draft mob that I made. I wonder if I made a different one or put something else in there. Be a little trickier. But anyway, getting back to the rogue. So the rogue, he's going to sneaky sneak. And we'll just do that. Alright, so 95, and we go to the chat. It's 171. Now, if we were to look at the Rolemaster Master Maneuvers chart, we could look at this as well. I'm getting distracted here by things. Yeah, I'm going to get distracted by just delving into this. Alright, so the main purpose here is my rogue is now going to sneak up on this dude over here. 3, 4, 5. Now, I've talked with my players about this, and so the rogue's movement rate is 19 feet around. I'm going to round up a foot, so it's 20, so it's easier math, right? But if he creeps, creeping is at a like 1/8 movement rate per combat phase. I think I actually have it done under AP breakdown. Nope, center movement. Okay. Let me bring up my GM screen. Actions, tactical movement. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, that is just not fucking doing it for me. Bye-bye, GM screen. There it is. This is my quick system reference guide. Tactical movement. Much easier to read. Alright, pause maneuvers, closing, drawing, passing through. Okay, so creep is per round half your base movement rate. So he can creep for 10 feet every 5 seconds. And just for shits and giggles, we're going to say that this guy's just standing there, right? Because if he's moving, the rogue will never catch him. Alright, so me as the GM, I'm going to be like, okay, you are like 15, 20 feet away from this guy. He probably has a chance. Yeah, you're 20 feet away. Let's have him roll his awareness. There's always a chance with like an open-ended roll he might be able to beat that 171. But not today. That's a cool little visual. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's resolve this attack. Now, I'm going to figure out right now, because I haven't actually done this before. Does the rogue not have ambush? I swear to God, I put points in the ambush skill. Yeah, he should have 42 for that. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, there it is. Duh. Just regular ambush. I'm being stupid. Okay, so we're going to see. I think I can click on this, and it should just do the whole thing. Oh, that's nice. These are things to think about as well. It's like the worst roll I possibly could roll. Okay, so we'll try that. That doesn't really. I want to see if it'll call up a crit chart with a good roll. Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna recall something Bob told me. Let's do this. Melee. He's surprised and flat-footed. Yes. Okay, so I think we're going to show a feature that Bob was talking about. Well, of course, I'm not going to roll very high doing this. This is awesome. Okay, so you see the little asterisk right there? That means it is, if we go to the mouse thing, ambush attack conditional. If this is an ambush attack, the attacker has 5 ranks in the ambush skill. Range available for ambushed when foe is surprised in melee. Range available for ambush when foe is surprised and not in melee. Alrighty. So let's look at the breakdown here. Attacker offensive bonus is 135 or 136. No defensive bonus. Okay. Don't know if that got. Oh! We are now seeing the Ripper's splatter module. So the Installation Soldier loses about half his friggin' hit points. And now we're going to initiate combat, which this is the fun part. This is what I wanted to get to real quick. Alright, so we got our little thing up here. We are going to begin encounter. So one of the things I set up is every round it re-rolls initiative. So instead of doing roll all here, if I just do begin encounter, it automatically rolls. If you do roll all or roll NPCs or individuals roll, and then you do begin encounter, it re-rolls. So that was a little weird. So the rogue is up first, and it is phase 1. Now, even though the rogue just attacked, he can be like, my intention is to stab this guy again, but he really can't stab him just yet because phase 1, you typically don't have melee attacks go forward. And then we're going to go next turn. This guy is going to turn around and be like, oh my goodness, I just got shanked. He is also going to probably attack the rogue. Now the rogue is going to try and, like, I'm going to say the rogue is like, I'm going to just full attack this guy. He has no need to, like, run after him or whatever. He's right there. So the rogue is intending to attack him on phase 4. The Thracian Soldier is going to counterattack. Now the Thracian Soldier is probably going to attack on phase 3 at a minus 25 penalty, right? So we're going to go... Oh, I did the wrong damn thing. What the hell? Oh! I think my combat set up wrong. Give me a second. We're gonna reset. I think I have it set for single round or no action phases. And I'm trying to demonstrate the wrong thing to you guys. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay. Crap. Customize theme, navigation. Yeah, see, action phases per round, so I had it set to, I call it Pathfinder mode, because I've got players that play Pathfinder and trying to explain to them how the phases work and getting them to do it's a little tricky. So while they're learning the system, I kind of dumb it down. Excuse me. All right, let's do this again. So, rewind. We are now going to reinitiate combat. We'll bring this up and begin the encounter. Alright, so again, Rogue is intending to full-on murk the Saracen Soldier on phase 4 of round 1. Saracen Soldier, he's going to just spin around, which is like a free thing to do, but it changes his facing, so he doesn't have that penalty. He's got plenty of other penalties. Let's actually see his penalties from that sneak attack. Alright, so he is bleeding, and he's got cracked bones, he's at -55, and he's stunned for 1 round. For 25. So yeah, it builds up. Alright, now see, now it's in phase 2. That's the thing. Nobody's changing anything. Obviously, when you have multiple characters, multiple players, the GM has multiple mobs, you might have something happen on this phase. Like specifically, you could say, I want to attack. I want to engage in melee attack. As quick as possible. This would be the quickest point at which you could do it at like -50. Neither one's willing to do that just yet. So we're going to continue and continue. The Rogue, like I said, is going to do a full round attack. So he is not attacking just yet. But the Saracen Soldier wants to try and get an attack off a little faster because he doesn't want to die. And there are no penalties against the Rogue, no flanking. You can see you got your positional stuff here. That actually gives me an opportunity real quickly. Back up. I want to show another little item here. This is the toggle combat zones. This is the Rogue's combat zones. So everything in green is his front face. Yellow are his flanks. And red is, of course, his rear. Now, here's my boy here. When the Rogue snuck up on him, you can see that. There you go. Now, the other thing I want to point out is this outer ring is the threat zone. So anything in this area, he can threaten. And why is that? Well, because the Saracen has a scimitar, which has a melee reach of 7.5. Right there, you can see it, 7.5 feet. Now the Rogue, he's currently got, I should probably, he's not dual wielding, so we'll, okay, there we go. There you go. There's the Rogue's circle of threat. A smaller, smaller reach weapon. Makes sense, right? We go to here, and we check this out. He has a 4-foot reach. This is kind of important because, unlike like D&D and other things like that, where it's like you can threaten anything in the square adjacent to you, you can actually really get down to the nitty-gritty on this. Anyway, speaking of the nitty-gritty, we're going to go ahead and turn that off because they're basically toe-to-toe, and the Saracen is going to try and attack the Rogue. Here we go. Again, no penalties, no bonuses on this end. If we survive to the second round, I'm going to show you guys some of the parry settings you can use with Argon. Let's see what happens. 71. That is a solid strike. So good, decent roll, but a miss because this guy's not very high level. He's like a level 4. Alright, now we go to the Rogue. This is the Rogue's turn. He intended to murk this guy. The Rogue is probably going to kill him at this point. So foe is stunned, plus 20. I may just ignore this whole fucking fight, or this whole part of the combat, just so we can get to the second round and I can demonstrate how the second round works. Okay, so 15 and 11. I can confirm that would kill our boy. So we're going to just pretend this missed, just so we can get to the next round. Now the Saracen, he's already acted. Right, now we do update. We do new initiative, and you notice that that stun is gone during the upkeep phase. Alright, so okay, cool. The Saracen soldier is first. And this is one of the things I kind of wanted to show you guys. What should I do with him? I think he's going to panic, and he's going to attack twice. So he'll attack on phase 2 and phase 4. Right? But the rogue is going to be a little defensive. He's surprised the Saracen didn't drop, so he's going to do something. Now, here's what I wanted to show you. We click on the rogue, and we go to Argon. You go over here, and you got minimize. That's kind of useful. Gotta keep that. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, you have set defenses. Now you can roll initiative, but we already have that handled through the encounter thing. So set defenses. You have standard passive, partial, and full. You have block, passive, partial, and full. Now he doesn't have a shield up, so this obviously isn't a thing. And then other defensive modifiers, which could be if somebody casts a spell that gives them like a +5 defensive bonus. This is where you would plug that in, right? Like a cleric has, various spellcasters have things, especially low-level bonuses. So let's say he is going to partially defend because he's a little concerned, right? And that should automatically deduct from his overall. So that's 27 dB, right? We'll see that applied here in a minute. All right, so here we go. Phase 2, Saracen panicking is going to attack, but at a penalty. All right. Oh, a 93. It's a solid hit, but because of that penalty, and let's look over here. Okay, so skill bonus 40, AP penalty minus 50, so he's at -10. He's injured, so he's -40. And then right here, I have a +30 to my defensive bonus because I went defensive. Normally that would have been like a, what was it, 25, so that would have been like a 10, I think. No, wrong guy, of course. But so yeah, that ends up being a 23, which is a miss. So that really brilliant roll just doesn't do it. All right, very sad. All right, the rogue dodges expertly. He's feeling pretty good. And again, we're going to look at this. Just can't do it again, of course. He's going to just chill. We're at phase 3. I always want to say round 3. Phase 3. Nobody's really attacking yet. Okay, it's phase 4. He's now going to attack the rogue. And this is his second attack, so it's at -100. I believe. I may be wrong on that. I think that's the correct. So, yeah, it's the downside of rushing to attack. Now, as you level up a character, like you're like a level 10 fighter, and you've got like a +150 attack or whatever, you know, you can swing more, especially for fighting mobs that are easy to hit. So that's just kind of a layer of the attack. Now here is where the rogue is going to finish things off. His patient attack. Right? Now, here we go. Maybe not. Oh, no, we got a crit. Alright, so let's look at what was rolled. Okay, so we have 75, right? Defensive bonus of the bad guys, 5. So 75 minus 5 plus the roll, 120. That's 11. Abdominal hit, left side, /A, blood pours from groin. Foe gets glazed look on his eyes as he contemplates his future. More damage done, more bleeding, more stun. This is possibly going to take him down. Oh, not quite. believe he has 8 hit points left. Yes. Oh boy. Okay, so we're at the end of action phase 4. And again, the rogue could have finished him off on the first round, but we ignored that shot just so we can get to the next phase. Okay, so the rogue is up. So the rogue, again, we're going to set our... It's still on partial. That's good. And then Saracen, you know, he's feeling pretty vulnerable. He's going to go into full defense. Oh, sorry, Saracen. Here we go. He has no game here. Alright. So we're at phase 2 of round 3. This is where the rogue decides he's just going to finish it, because he's feeling cocky now. The Saracen wasn't as tough as he thought. He didn't hit as hard as he thought, so the rogue is feeling pretty cocky. So he's going to attack, but at a negative. But it is against a stunned foe, so it's good. 82, that's going to be a crit. This is where the Saracen fucking dies. Because that's 11 plus 22, more bleeding. Stab foe and elbow, damaged joint, draws blood and cries of pain. You feel triumphant. Bam. So you'll notice how it drops prone, or it shows that he drops prone. One of the things that I kind of liked in other systems like Pathfinder, you know, just the quality of life thing, is that it would automatically remove the mob when it's defeated like this. You know, basically at 0 or -1, it would remove them. Instead, you're just going to kind of go over here and go mark as defeated. Right, and that's pretty much it. There's a couple of modules you can use that can change this to like a gore pile, changes the actual token to like a gore pile or something like that. But this is just simple enough for our purposes. Alrighty, and that is the end of the encounter. And the Saracen's dead. Now again, if we didn't ignore that initial attack on round 1 from the rogue, that would have been a very quick 5-second scuffle. Instead, it ended up being about 15 seconds. Alrighty, but I did get to show you guys some modules by Ken, and the sequencing. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up before I leave you guys, is combat round sequence. The upkeep phase, this part right here, Bob Morris, the guy who wrote the Rolemaster Unified rules for Foundry, has it to where the upkeep phase is all automated, which is like the awesome part about Rolemaster. Anyway, I will see you guys next time on Dice at the Table. This has been Tactical Onion, and I will see you guys later.